Welcome to the Mind Sensei podcast. I'm your host, Peter Taz, and I'll be taking you on a journey to the world of martial arts and introduce listeners to some of the most inspiring and knowledgeable practitioners from around the world. Whether you're a seasoned martial artist or a curious beginner, or just enjoy hearing a great story, the Mind Sensei podcast Down Under has something for everyone. So tune in, sit back, and let us take you on a journey through the world in martial arts. All right. So, do you have any other memorable moments you've had with other martial artists
Oh, I
you can
mean,
share?
I've trained with Bill Wallace one time, Superfoot Wallace. That was fantastic. He was doing a tour of New Zealand, and he said, "Right, let's get warm." And he did about 3 or 4 seconds of arms. He said, "Right, that's our arms warmed up. We're not here to work our arms. We're here to work our legs." But he worked with me, and he was saying that's good because he could see that I was doing the same things like for a Moashige, the roundhouse. I was doing the roundhouse strike or the um, side chop, and all these things, and it was good. He said you can set it up the same thing as he would set up a kick just by drawing the person in or making them faint, and it was fantastic. It was, but the number of different people, different instructors I've met through the martial arts. Um, I was inducted in the Ammerhof in 2017, and I didn't want to go because I thought, there's so many great martial artists out there. And yet when I went there, um, I was just blown away by all the seminars. Everyone who presented themselves did their little induction, their speech, and then their seminars. And and that's why I love going back and training with people, and you learn so much.
Was that for your Lifetime Achievement Award?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
In Goju Ryu.
yeah,
And that's also the world's Kempo Union Hall of Fame,
yeah,
Karate Union.
yeah. It quite amazing, that and very humbling to, as you know, you sort of do this because you love what you do, you love passing it on, and be recognized by your peers as something special. And like there's no egos. We're just all there to learn. We're all there to enjoy and partake in the inductees' journey.
Yeah,
And
correct.
it's
Yeah.
like
Def-
this year, and I can't remember her name, the young lady of 80 years old.
yep.
She
Okay. The
was
Aikido practitioner.
no, she was the karate, I think it
It,
was.
she did a bit of
I
Aikido
think.
too. I think I had a
Yes, he did do the AED. Yeah,
we
my
we did
apologies.
friend requests just recently.
Yeah, I got that
It
yesterday.
popped up. Yeah.
Fantastic. The 80-year-old, as I said to my knee dance, I've just seen this 80-year-old woman who would show you guys up. She's faster, she's got more power and more focus and more speed. And oh yeah, so I'm trying to find a video of her. Just and that's a great thing because you see these people and it just inspires you. Um, Yesterday, going to Budo, it was just fantastic working with the disabled students and chatting to you. It's just that, it's it's what it's about. We're one just big family.
Correct. Correct. That's one thing I liked about it when my friend rang me and said he's going to nominate me. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. Here we go. Um, yeah, I've seen them all, heard them all. He goes, no, you got to do this. You got to come meet these people. It's different, and I'm
Yeah,
glad I did. We met from there.
yeah, that was good. I mean, it's just I didn't have a chance to hang out much with you, but you're catching up with the other guys and Darren and Tom and
Yes,
them.
yes, yeah, yeah. We were having a boys laugh weekend. It was good.
It was good. Yeah. No, I was catching up with Anton. He got inducted. He was Peter Shaw. He had been inducted, I think, 2012. He recommended Anton, and it was good. So meeting Anton, I'd heard of him and that, and it was good.
Okay, nice. Nice. Okay, so let's see. tell us other aspects of your life that don't involve martial arts. What do you do for a living?
My job is in the disability sector. My title is Access Consultant and Educator. So the access, like all countries, Australia has all these rules and regulations to make commercial buildings and residential buildings accessible. So my job is to look at buildings and give free advice to the private individual and charge for commercial properties. So I look at the doorway and say that doorway is not wide enough, or that accessible toilet should have this, etc. It's a fantastic job. It means that people, um, I'd say I sound like Liam Neeson. I've acquired skills over a number of years, skills to make my life easy. Um, Skills also to hurt people, but the skills I've learned are to get myself down a flight of stairs in the wheelchair, jump up and down curbs, go up and down escalators. Not everyone has got that ability, nor should they need it, because the built environment should ensure that it's wheelchair accessible. However, even though the building codes state I've never seen a brand new building that is fully compliant to the building code. There'll always be something missing. Um, Building just the other day. Suddenly they've got something completely wrong. And I'm saying that's not right. But it's too far down the track now. Even though it was on the building plan, the builder, oh, but I always do it that way. Well, you've always done it wrong. So my educator comes in there to educate the builders, the council consent team. And then I also talk to a lot of university students about disability awareness, how to deal with people with a disability. And that's the one thing that the 9 months I spent in hospital gave me the skills to live in a world which wasn't wheelchair accessible, but didn't actually give me the skills to live in a world where people treat you differently. Differently, by that I mean I came out of hospital, my brothers pushed me along the street, and we came to someone who we used to see two, three times a week, and they said, "G'day, Mark. How's John?" And I'm sitting right there. So my brother very quickly looked at me and said, "G'day, John. How are you today?" "Fine, thanks, Mark." And the Mark looks, "Thanks for asking. John's really good." And I suddenly realized, like 58 years ago, that people treat you differently. My parents lost friends because I had my accident. They didn't know how they could speak to Peter and Thelma because John's in a wheelchair. Or my brother lost friends because they couldn't play with Mark because John was in a chair. So it's all those sort of preconceived ideas. We call it ableism now and all this, all these different names. So a couple of months back, I spoke to 360 medical students about this. Um, And the funny thing is, 2 years ago, I had a doctor talking to me as if I had some intellectual disability, you know. So that's why I love my job because I'm empowering the disabled, giving them skills. I'm empowering builders to ensure the built environment's wheelchair accessible or accessible. And that's the really stupid thing. Our building code is 20 odd years old and it doesn't cover things for people, say, autistic or Asperger's, or the only thing to do with the deaf is the fire alarm must be visual as well as audible. So with that out of date, so I like giving advice to bring the built environment up to an accessible level for everyone.
Yeah, it's funny because you have not the same but similar aspects coming from parents who migrated here. You're
Yeah,
sort of a lot of you're invisible to most people.
yeah.
They treat you differently. Um, yeah, there's still discrimination, but in a different format,
And
right?
that's why I say to people, let's get rid of the term disabled because everyone is different in one way. And we, over in here, we have a lot of refugees and a lot of immigrants come to Dunedin until they realise it's too cold, and then they go up north. Um, but, it's that discrimination which is really, really sad. Um, we're all the same. We just might look slightly different, sound slightly different. Yeah, but we're all the same.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, let's see. What other hobbies do you have outside the martial arts?
Um,
Apart from table
it's
tennis, we know you can whoop me at table tennis.
um, I do like making models. I say that, and my wife, she will laugh because I've got this model of HMS Victory beside me. It's about 1.5 meters long, which I've had about 5 years, and I might look at it for a few months and then put it aside. Um, Unfortunately, I think my martial arts and table tennis takes up so much of my life. Um, let's start. Sunday, 2 hours table tennis. Monday, there's inter-club, but that's now finished, so I'm going to be doing table tennis. Then I've got karate Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. Friday is my day off, but when I'm not doing anything, I'm doing all these exercises around here. I've got all these weights, so if my video goes in black, I'm doing some form of exercise in my room. So hobbies, I do like reading. I love playing any sport. Um, and sleeping is the other hobby, which so what's that?
Everyone's favourite sleeping.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
funny thing. I set my alarm before just in case I fell asleep watching the football. I find my body, as I've been getting older, and also being a spinal cord injury, your body aches, the legs can jump. The feeling I have in my legs is the feeling you get when your legs have been asleep and the feeling's coming back and you've got that sort of tingling, the throbbing. Sometimes my legs can feel like that. Um, Interestingly, it's like, if you've sprained or broken something, it's sore, but then it's no longer sore. It's a little bit like my legs. If I think about it, they're sore, but if I don't think about it, I don't think there's no discomfort. But at night, my body will relax, and then the muscles relax, and then they'll tighten, and they'll wake me up, and I'll roll over, and it's good. I don't get bed sores because of that.
okay, nice. So, how long have you been teaching now in your journey?
I started actually as soon as I got my black belt in 1980. They said, right, John, you can now take parts of the class, which was really good. You wouldn't take all of it. Sensei Bob, whoever the senior instructor was at the time, would say, okay, John, do you want to take the green belts over Cypher or the beginners over um, Kionet, Daiichi or whatever? Um, when the karate style, when the organization split in 1995, I formed my own dojo, and that's called the Dunedin Institute of Traditional Karate. And I've had that dojo now non-stop since 95. In fact, that's the anniversary this year.
There you go.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I better make a note. We've got 95 because we've got an end of year training camp.
Okay.
And so I'm going to do a little, I was thinking about doing a 50 counter, make everyone do 50 counters, celebrate my 50 years
As long
in,
as the card has two moves, we're good.
no, I was thinking Super Impe, which is 108 moves. Um, there's a figure of 108, which is very special in the martial arts and also in various religions in the Eastern cultures. And quite often, for special occasions, people will do 108 kata. And there is a Japanese term where you start training on the 31st of December, you work through the night or train through the night. So then you've trained, you know, like 2 years, so you finish it in the morning of the 1st of January. Sometimes they will do 108 kata. So they will do your very first Gekkai Daiichi, which might take 45 seconds. Um, I have had friends who've done 108 of super impact, and it's taken well over 5 hours. It's something special to do. So who knows? I haven't put it on my bucket list. Perhaps I should.
Stick it on the list. Put it on the list.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have to live stream it so we can count it to make sure you hit 108 though.
yeah.
Otherwise, you've got to
Uh,
go back to the start and start again.
exactly. That's why I always say if you lose count, you have to start again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's where the karate has helped me with my other sport as well, because I used to go to the track and I'd have to do 10, 100 meters to finish with, but I would also always be doing it for 110 or 105 meters because, just pushing that a little bit further. If I go to the physio, they'll say, right, John, we want you to do reps of 10. So I'll do reps of 12. Or they want to do reps of 15. I'll do reps of 18, just to push that a little bit.
So let's talk a little bit about your school that you started. So the Dunedin Institute of
Karate.
Traditional Karate, right?
Okay.
So the Dunedin Institute of Traditional Karate. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about how that got started and what's your journey there.
So, when the IOGKF split, well, it was actually called the um, New Zealand Okinawan Karate Organization, the chief instructor split, and so we continued training under Higaonna Sensei. We called it the IOGKFNZ, and there was two of us in Dunedin. We Hazel Sinclair, she no longer trains, sadly. Her sister does. Um, so there was Adele, Hazel, and myself. We started the Dunedin Institute, and little school, Northeast Valley. We had about 3 members, and then we started advertising children from 5:30 to 6:30, adults 7 till 9. I would have to de-ice the car to get home, and I lived about 6, 7 k's away. And yeah, it was fantastic. We slowly built up the club, and we had some really good numbers. Then the school said, "Okay, John, I'm sorry, we're going to have to put our rent up." And it was going to cost a lot of money. So I looked around and I found there was a Catholic school. I knew the headmaster and I said, "Look, can we use the little hall you've got by the gym?" "Yeah, that's fine. You can have that, no problem." It was about the size of a basketball court. So we trained for their numbers, and it was great because even though the other end of town, so it would take 20 minutes for people to drive. And that's what makes me laugh in Dunedin. 20 minutes is a long drive. Up in Auckland, it takes people an hour and a half to drive to work. Um, but it was good because a lot of the people in Northeast Valley, as it was, came to South Dunedin, trained with us. And then can't even remember. Yeah, the Catholic school said, "Oh, John, you we're closing the school, you'll have to find somewhere else." So I went and started training at another school, which was really great. And then the school, we turned up on January. The hall we'd been training, they put carpet down, hadn't told us. And I said, "Look, it's not really suitable for the guys. They're going to end up with burnt feet and things like that." So I rang up the Catholic um, organisation because they still, even though they were selling the school, they hadn't sold it. I said, "Look, can we use that hall until you sell?" "Oh, yeah, yeah, please do. We really missed you having you there, paying a bit of rent, but just having a presence during the week at nights." So we started training there. And then I think it was about 2012. Um, I rang them up. I said, "Oh, look, what time does the office close? I want to come along and pay the term rent." "Oh, John, we were going to be ringing. We've sold." "Oh, congratulations. When when's my last training session?" "Now you can't train anymore." "Oh no." And that afternoon I was flying to Okinawa. And so I said to my wife, "This is a list of all the halls around. Can you contact them, please?" And she went to where we train now, the St. James's Presbyterian Church Hall. Um, she went there, had a look, and said, "Yep, we'll sign it up." And we've been training there ever since. And it's a good hall. There's a big hall at the front, beautiful wooden floor, smaller hall at the back, which has now got some Australian timber. The floor's just been done up. Beautiful floor. The guys love training on it. Um, And yeah, we have about 20, 25 regular. Um, what I started when we moved from Northeast Valley, I started training the juniors. Well, all classes start at 6 o'clock. So the juniors and the adults start at 6. The juniors finish at 7, and the adults keep training until 7:30, 8 o'clock. Um, my fees are very, very low, just because the economic environment of South Dunedin can be a little bit low. And also the fact is some of the people are families. I've got some with three, four family members, so I've kept my fees down really low. And I think it cost me about $400 a term for rent, which is really, really good. Couldn't afford in New Zealand to run a full-time dojo. We just haven't got the numbers. There is something like one, two, three, four different Goju Ryu clubs. Then we've got about three Taekwondo. We've got Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, Iaido, Taekwondo. There's so many different martial arts, and we've only got population of 1.2 million. No, sorry, not 1.2. 120,000 population in Dunedin. Yeah, so we haven't really got the population to warrant a full-time martial arts club.
And have any memorable moments from your journey with people you've met?
I think the very first time going to Okinawa was one of the most memorable, because it was the first time sort of training in Okinawa, first time meeting all these people from so many different countries. There was about 40 countries represented there, all nationalities, and again, it was just like a fantastic family. Um, you couldn't speak to the person only in dojo Japanese, but the friendship was just amazing. Um, and it's been like that every trip I've been to. I've lost count of the times I've been to Okinawa, but I was going to England 2009 to see my brother. He stayed in England. So I went to England, and when I was over there, they had a European training camp in Sweden. So I went over there and trained there, and it was fantastic. And at the same time I was there, every year the Swedish Disability Organisation gets a whole lot of people and teaches them skills, whether it be a sporting activity or a wheelchair skill or whatever. And they saw me doing karate, and they said, "Oh, would you mind doing a demonstration for us?" Which I did. And then they asked me to teach them a little bit of self-defense, which I did. Um, through Jeff Todd, the teacher of the close quarter combat, he wanted to do a manual on wheelchair self-defense based on the CQC. And as a result of that, I got involved, and I got a message from Perth saying, "John, we'd really like you to come over and do a wheelchair self-defense course for the spinal unit outpatients." So I ended up a few years back getting invited to go over there, took two separate classes, and it was fantastic teaching. There was some guy in the electric wheelchair saying, "I don't think I can do anything." I said, "Yes, you can. All I need to do is teach you how to do a cover, and then you've got a 160 kg wheelchair that you can run the person over." And it was fantastic watching him covering himself up and doing strikes to the throat and then spinning around on the spot in his wheelchair. And I heard from him a couple of years back saying, "John, that was, he felt so empowered, and he actually felt confident going out at night." Um, Last year, I went over to England again to see my brother, and I spent time in a training camp. So every year, they have a training camp to a memorial one for John Lambert, one of the original Goju instructors in Scotland. And I was training with all the top European instructors, and it was just fantastic training with eighth degrees, ninth degrees, and yeah.
Okay, so how do you stay motivated, continue to progress in your journey?
I think it's my students who keep me motivated, because I want to teach them the best I can. I want them to be the best they can. And for me to do that, I have to be the best I can. So therefore, I have to be the fittest I can. And that goes back to one of the things I learned in Stoke Mandeville Hospital when I left there in February 1968, I think it was. They said the fitter you are, the healthier you'll be, the better quality of life you'll have. And that's all has been my ethos right through my life. And I think that's what keeps me going in karate. Um, because I want to be the best, I want to be the fastest I can, and I want to be the best to teach my students.
What advice would you have for someone starting out in the martial arts?
Never give up. It's it can be a long, hard journey, but you every day you train, you're going to be that much stronger. Yeah, you might feel like you're going back, but when you do look back, you realize how far you've come. Um, my father used to say life wasn't meant to be easy. If it was, everyone would be world champions, Olympic record holders, and things like that. Everyone has got their passion, everyone's got their strength. And I think what you do, you find the dojo you like, you find the teacher you like, the members you like. Um, People contact me, they said, "Oh, can we come along and train?" I said, "Please do. You come along for a couple of weeks. If you like it, great. If not, there's a list of all these other dojos. Go around, shop around." And I know there was one person who did that, and she said she just loved the family atmosphere at my dojo because we're there to help. And like I'll get a little 10-year-old teaching an adult, and it's great to see that 10-year-old thinking, I'm teaching an adult how to do that. And it's good because it makes that student that much stronger physically.
If you had to impart some wisdom or have an inspirational quote for our listeners, what would that be?
Oh, there's so many. I've lost touch of them. I used to keep a big long list of them. I think um I do like that one get knocked down 7 times, get up 8 times. You know, that's the sort of really never give up. Just it's just going to make you stronger. Um, Listen to yourself. Don't listen to that little voice who tells you can't do things. Believe in yourself.
Let's talk a little bit about your club that you have, the Dunedin Institute of Traditional Karate.
Yeah.
Karate.
Hey,
Um,
that's a
hey, so that's a school or an organisation you have.
It's a school.
Yeah,
It's a not-for-profit organisation, so we're not registered or
yeah.
anything. In New Zealand, we don't need to have any dojo insurance or instructor insurance or things like that. Um, we are fortunate enough that the government has got its own, almost like a insurance called an accident compensation commission, which means if anyone gets injured, the this ACC for short will pay for your rehabilitation, the equipment, etc. So we're lucky from that point of view. So if someone is injured in my club, um, the ACC will compensate it. But saying that, I don't want to see anyone injured in my club, so I always make sure that my instructors have got good control. They know how to look after their students. I'm very lucky over the years. I've had quite a few good students come through and get their black belt and then they've left. Um, Something that's traditional in the Okinawa and Japanese dojo, you'll quite often see pictures and they're like little wooden pegs on the wall and it's got the person's name and rank on it. And it's like a record of all the black belts who've gone through the dojo. You can actually, and people have started to do that on their websites and have like a little um, black belt register of all those
Family
who've
tree.
trained.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to look at, I'm just in the process of trying to track down all the black belts and just say, do you mind? Are you happy with having a picture or your name and just say that when you trained?
And you put that in their enrollment form.
Yeah. I might start doing that because the thing that we have to do
Yeah.
now is from time to time we take photos of our students and our children are you happy with this? And I've got one student, the mother said no. Um, she doesn't want that.
Yeah, well, we do typically I'll do a media release form that
Yeah,
says, and you find out straight away if they don't want their children, because you might take a photo at a grading, it's a perfect marketing
yeah,
shot. So you get their permission straight up. So for the
yeah,
ones who don't want it, you ask them to step out
yeah,
and take all your shots. But also in terms of just different things, you know.
yeah. And I think it's important. Um, yeah, it's just sad that today we have to think of all those things.
Yes, there's a different world these days.
Yeah,
Um, when I did camp this year, it was this year still, with my instructor, I sat down with him and we put together his family tree. And I knocked it up for him and presented it to him at camp. I was trying to find a picture for you and got it printed, formatted to American paper size, and then found a printer in America to print it and did a frame. And yeah, so that was his family tree there.
oh,
So he's got
that was on your Facebook page,
correct.
was
Yeah,
it? Yeah, that
yeah.
looked really good. I was trying to enlarge it. Yeah, no, that's good. I think that's the thing. Like, and I
There's
don't.
probably a better one there. So I had a
Yeah,
picture of Ed Parker
yeah,
and all the countries and black belts and
yeah.
yeah. And
Oh,
so he puts that up on the wall now. So yeah, it's always good. That's one of my questions. How many black belts do you have in your lineage?
oh. Honestly, I had a lovely family. There, three of them. Three. One was getting there towards their black belt, so there would be four from one family. Another one, there was three. Four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11. Close to 20, I think, over in the since 95.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Um, I'm
Oh,
lucky I've still got three, four, five, six training with me.
okay.
Yeah.
So if you were not to be here anymore, what would be your message to your students and the lineage moving forwards?
I'm watching you.
Bend your knees, Katie. Bend your
Yes,
knees.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Do not. I think it is just the lineage is important because we're trying to not change the katas. Katas and the forms will change because their bodies change. So suddenly we may not be able to do that high kick. So that's why that kick's slow. But ensure that with your teaching, that you are teaching as you were taught. That yes, you may have changed something, but make sure if you've changed it, it's because of your physical ability, not because you've wanted to change it. Try and keep the essence of Goju Ryu alive.
Okay, are there any books you can recommend for our listeners?
Oh, how long have we got? Um,
Just
the
give me
very
the essentials. Come on, you're killing me here, Biggie Smalls.
okay. The best books, Don Drager. He did a selection of books, traditional Bujitsu, traditional Budo. Fantastic books by him. Yeah, classical Bujitsu, classical Budo.
Classical
Um,
Budo, yeah. Weapons of
classical,
Fighting Arts in Indonesian.
yeah,
Uh,
classical Bujitsu.
ninjutsu, weight training for championship judo, Asian fighting arts, ninjutsu, art of invisibility. Okay, there's a few there. All right,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
The ones I got was the classical Bujitsu, classical Budo, um, and the Asian fighting arts. They were of amazing books just on the history, and that way, just reading them, I think they are really good books because because they cover so many of the martial arts. It will plant this seed. Yes, I want to try that. I want to try a screamer, or I want to have a go at Iaido or the Jiu-Jitsu or one of the Filipino martial arts or something. Um, there's a really another good book called The Way of the Warrior. I mentioned that before there was a TV series. there is the same book. And again, it will just whet people's appetite of all the different martial arts that are out there.
Okay.
The Tao of Jet Kundo is a classic. I think my one, I'm going to have to get it binded. It's that worn. It was, as I said, because of Bruce Lee and the Kung Fu series that really whetted my appetite and said this is what I wanted to pursue. I recently watched the Kung Fu series, and it's in places it can appear a little bit corny now in my knowledge, but it was good.
Yeah.
It's
It
still
looked
good.
good back in the day. You're like, whoa. And you
Oh,
look now and you
yes.
go, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, the last year, I sometimes will say certain things out of Enter the Dragon. One of the scenes right at the beginning, Bruce Lee is talking to the little student, and he'll say, "Kick me," and he goes, "What was that?"
Yeah.
And so I sometimes use that. And I said to people, "How many in my club? How many have seen Enter the Dragon?" And only about three of the
It's
adults. I said,
required
"Right."
homework.
Oh, I said, "Right, we are having a movie night." And we did it in the church hall. Wendell, who one of my his son done, he is like the caretaker. He couldn't get the projector speakers to go, so I might have to revisit it.
Might
But
have to edit some parts of it because it's like,
yes,
I'll have you and I'll have you and I'll have you.
yes,
Ladies, if I've missed anyone, sorry, but I'm a bit tired.
yeah, he was good. Did you ever
Yeah.
watch the Black Belt Jones?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
good.
was, and Billy Jack I watched last year.
Yeah. 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 They
Yeah,
had used to have all the old shows were great.
yeah,
Used to have the Kung Fu Theatre on the Sundays. They used to have Shintaro,
yeah.
the samurai. That was great.
Someone who is keen to get in, they really have to look around, find a dojo they like the instructor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for people interested in reaching out, contacting you, training with you, provide us with all your information.
Yeah, so the name of the karate club, Dunedin Institute of Traditional Karate. Um, I suppose the interest in, or the easiest way is their website, which is dunedinkarate.co.nz. Dunedin, Dunedin, karate.co.nz. Dunedin is the city I live in, South Island of New Zealand. And yeah, that's
You
their
have a
website.
Facebook page as well.
Yeah, there's a link on our website. Take you to our Facebook page. It's got our training times, contact phone number was on there, but
Yeah.
it's 021 231 3887. It's 021 231 3887. But yeah, we're open. So, I mean, if any of the listeners are over from Australia and want to do some training, contact us. The door's always open. We love having visitors, and yeah, it's really
Right.
family.
We'll have to make the trek over there.
Please do. You're always welcome, Peter.
And okay, and your email for the club?
I was just trying to find it. It's always the way. I just always use my own, which is johnmarrable@gmail.com.
Okay, no worries. I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that brings us to the end of the interview. And thank you very much, Mr. John Marrable, for being on the Mind Sensei podcast and sharing your journey with our listeners. Pleasure to always talk to you and see you and have you on sharing your story.
Well, thank you, Sensei Peter. I look forward to meeting you in person again and exchanging techniques.
For sure, for sure. Thank you, Mr. Marrable.
Thank you.
I'm your host, Peter Taz, and you've tuned in to the Mind Sensei podcast from Down Under. I want to take a moment to thank all our listeners for tuning in to the Mind Sensei podcast. We appreciate your support and hope our show has been both informative and entertaining for you. If you haven't already done so, we would like to invite you to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. Finally, we'd like to thank our guests for sharing their knowledge and experience with us. Without their generosity, this podcast would not be possible. Thank you again for listening to the Mind Sensei podcast Down Under. We hope that you continue to join us on this journey in the world of martial arts.